What's going on with Stephen Fry going alt-right? He's been on a notorious hard-right, anti-woke podcast where he retracted his support for trans rights. Is this a new development? He always came across as level-headed in the past, but now it looks like he's on the same path as Russell Brand. Answer: he didn't. And he isn't. I watched that whole podcast through just the other day. He didn't retract his support for trans rights, though he did rebuke the slim few that use the left/right/trans/gay issues as a way to gain power, or as a way to create and win arguments. Typically those sorts that gain popularity online, not those you meet day to day. He spoke openly about how the ability to have a discussion is far more important than censoring speech in case someone is offended. He specifically requoted his famous quote. It's now very common to hear people say, "I'm rather offended by that," as if that gives them certain rights. It's actually nothing more than a whine. I find that offensive. It has no meaning, it has no purpose, it has no reason to be respected as a phrase. I am offended by that. Well, so fucking what? He also very specifically talks about how he hates the rise of the right in Europe and the UK, but expresses that he believes certain parts of the left are to blame for it, in part due to how they tend to engage in conversation with people. If you aren't with them, then you are against them, and in doing that you alienate someone who might well support you over the other right-wing groups. But since the left are actively attacking that middle ground person, it pushes them to the right who are leaving them alone. I do find it funny that he can go on a podcast and more or less say he disposes the rise of the right and people come away hearing, Stephen Fry is alt-right now. In the podcast he also says he self-proclaims to be on the left. Anybody commenting, arguing anything without having watched the source material, simply does not care about the issues they proclaim to care about. If you don't have time to watch it, that's fine. But don't form an opinion you self-proclaim to know nothing about. If you really want an answer, watch the podcast. You will hear everything said in the answers here from his own mouth.